These women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right, ABC should wake up.
In an era dominated by instant reactions and polarized opinions, did a single, seemingly insignificant moment on a daytime talk show expose a deeper crisis in how we consume and process information? This isn't simply about a heated exchange of words, it's a story about the subtle but powerful influence of media narratives, the challenges of fostering genuine diversity of thought, and the ever-present struggle to bridge the divides that seem to define our modern world.
Most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other.
The View, a program that first graced our television screens in 1997, was conceived as a space where women from diverse backgrounds could engage in thoughtful discussions about the pressing issues of the day. Over the years, it has become a staple of daytime television, known for its lively debates and its hosts who aren't afraid to voice their opinions. Figures like Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin have become synonymous with the show, their strong personalities and progressive leanings shaping the direction of many a conversation. However, this very identity has also been the source of considerable controversy. The show has often found itself embroiled in heated debates, sparking outrage and prompting accusations of bias from viewers who feel their perspectives are not adequately represented. It's a show that people love to watch, but also one that many love to criticize, a reflection of the deeply polarized landscape in which we now live. And into this already charged environment stepped Karoline Leavitt, a young, articulate, and unapologetically conservative voice. As the press secretary for the Trump campaign, Leavitt was no stranger to the spotlight or to the art of defending her beliefs. Her appearance on The View was perceived by many as a deliberate challenge, a test of the show's commitment to genuine dialogue. It was a moment that seemed destined to ignite a firestorm, a clash of ideologies that would reverberate far beyond the confines of the studio. From the moment she took her seat at the table, the tension was palpable. It was clear that this was not going to be just another polite conversation. This was a battle for the narrative, a clash of worldviews, and the stakes, as always, were high.
This young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because Black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not Black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that
the catalyst for this confrontation was the increasingly contentious concept of wokeness. This term, once associated with social awareness and a commitment to justice, has become a lightning rod in the culture wars, a symbol of everything that divides us. It was on this fraught ground that Whoopi Goldberg, a veteran of the show and a powerful voice in her own right, challenged Leavitt's perspective. Goldberg questioned how a young woman like Leavitt could dismiss the importance of wokeness, suggesting that it was a fundamental prerequisite for her very presence on the show. Without that wokeness, you might not have that job, she asserted, a statement that carried the weight of history and the sting of implied privilege. It was a bold declaration, a challenge to Leavitt's credibility, and a clear indication that this was going to be more than just a friendly exchange of opinions. But Leavitt, far from being intimidated, seized the opportunity to turn the tables. Armed with facts and figures, she began to dismantle the notion that wokeness was solely about fairness and inclusivity. She argued that it had been co-opted, transformed into a political weapon used to silence dissenting voices and enforce a narrow, ideologically driven agenda. She pointed to the hypocrisy of those who claim to champion diversity while simultaneously dismissing or attacking anyone who dares to hold a different viewpoint. She challenged the panel's perceived double standards, questioning why conservative women are so often dismissed as uneducated or out of touch, even as they are simultaneously lectured on the importance of inclusion. The atmosphere in the studio shifted, the audience's reaction mirroring the growing sense that the established narrative was being challenged.
Democrats in the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
And just when it seemed the situation couldn't get any more intense, Joy Behar, another longtime host known for her sharp wit and often controversial remarks, entered the fray. Behar's comments, which seemed to imply that conservative women were somehow less intelligent or less informed, added fuel to the already raging fire. The tension in the room was palpable, the air thick with unspoken accusations and simmering resentment. Leavitt, however, remained composed, meeting Behar's challenge head-on. She responded with statistics and personal anecdotes, highlighting the achievements and contributions of conservative women in politics, business, and the arts. She sought to dispel the stereotype that conservative women are somehow less capable or less enlightened than their liberal counterparts, pushing back against the dismissive attitudes that she felt were so prevalent in mainstream media. Within mere hours, snippets of this explosive exchange began to circulate online, quickly transforming into viral sensations. The internet exploded with commentary, memes, and heated debates. Social media platforms became battlegrounds where people from all walks of life dissected every word, every gesture, every facial expression. A grassroots petition demanding Goldberg's removal from the show rapidly gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures, a clear indication of the depth of public dissatisfaction with perceived media bias. The public reaction was a powerful testament to the speed and reach of the digital age, showcasing how a single moment in the spotlight can ignite a global conversation. The fallout from this episode extended far beyond the digital realm. As advertisers began to reconsider their association with The View, the financial implications for ABC and its parent company, Disney, became impossible to ignore. Disney's stock price experienced a noticeable dip, and the network found itself under increasing pressure to address the concerns that had been raised. The incident served as a stark reminder of the growing divide between conservative and liberal media consumers and the financial risks associated with alienating a significant portion of the viewing public. The question on everyone's mind was whether The View could afford to continue down the same path, or whether it would be forced to adapt to a changing media landscape. In the wake of this media storm, Karoline Leavitt emerged as something of a folk hero within conservative circles. Her poise under pressure, her ability to articulate her views with clarity and conviction, and her willingness to challenge the established narrative resonated with many who felt their voices were not being heard. She became a symbol of resistance against what some saw as the stifling conformity of mainstream media, a champion for those who felt marginalized or ignored. Leavitt's rise is emblematic of a broader trend in American politics, where young, outspoken figures are gaining traction by challenging the status quo and appealing to a desire for authenticity and transparency. This shift reflects a growing disillusionment with traditional institutions and a hunger for voices that are perceived as genuine and unscripted. But the story doesn't end there. The events surrounding this episode of The View raise profound questions about the role of media in shaping public discourse, the challenges of fostering genuine dialogue across ideological divides, and the future of news and entertainment in an increasingly polarized world. What is the responsibility of media outlets to present a balanced and nuanced portrayal of different viewpoints? How can we create spaces where people can engage in meaningful conversations without resorting to personal attacks or simplistic generalizations? And what does the future hold for programs like The View, which must navigate the delicate balance between staying true to their core identity and adapting to the evolving needs and expectations of their audience? As we reflect on this dramatic chapter, it's clear that the battle for the narrative is far from over. The tensions between wokeness and traditional values, between progressive and conservative ideologies, continue to simmer just beneath the surface of our society, ready to erupt at any moment. The events surrounding this episode of The View serve as a potent reminder of the power of discourse, the importance of critical thinking, and the need for us to engage with each other in a spirit of openness and respect. The challenges are immense, but the potential rewards, a more informed, more tolerant, and more understanding society, are well worth the effort. The future of our media landscape, and indeed the future of our society, depends on our willingness to confront our biases, to embrace the richness of differing opinions, and to work together to build a more inclusive and equitable world for all. The path forward will not be easy. There will be moments of frustration, of anger, and of despair. But it is crucial that we persevere, that we continue to strive for a media landscape that reflects the full spectrum of human experience, that amplifies marginalized voices, and that promotes a deeper understanding of the complex challenges we face. The stakes are high, the time is now, and the future is in our hands. It's time to stop simply reacting to the controversies and begin creating a media environment that truly serves the public good.